to the Star League broadcast here down at the Nexon Arena. I am Valdez. With me is Wolf, who happens to have a handicap mic, so he's going to be holding that here.
I'm going to be talking to you guys like this for the time being. Looks like I'm about to smoke a really sketchy microphone right now.
But you just hold it the whole time, but you never smoke it until after the broadcast, Wolf.
Oh, that's right. I'm just keeping it close. You guys had this problem on Tuesday, right? And then I fixed it, or at least I just put it on and it worked. But when I put it on right now, it's not working. So I'm not sure what happened along the way. But
I don't know what you did, Wolf, but we're going to have to figure something out. I guess you'll just have to do this for now. Either way.
Yeah, I've got my backup mic buddy down here, but someone's going to have to come and activate him before I can use him. But yeah, today's going to be a great day of Star League. Pay no attention to the mic between my fingers.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, obviously, the winners' semis. So if you've been following this tournament since the beginning, it's a really, it's going to be a really important match here because the winners are going to go to the winners' decider match, I guess is what they're calling it here. And then that's basically the winners' finals, and then you're going to go to the top four, which will actually be basically a group. So the winners go to the winners finals or the winners decider match. And then that is a best of 7.
Yeah. So for tonight's matches, we are going to have RagnaroK versus Solar there on the left, and on the right we did have Dark versus Stats. So one ZVZ, one PVC. Even if you are a Terran, don't mind, you can still watch it. The games are going to be fantastic. PVZ has been pretty entertaining to me. ZVZ has kind of been, I don't know, same old. It has changed a little bit for sure from HOTS, but not as much as some of the other matchups.
Now, I do want to point out that the photo card event keyword is B tonight.
Yeah, B for Brendan.
Yes.
For Banana.
Or
for
Banana.
Bitchin. Star League.
Yeah. I'm broken, like my mic. All right, here's RagnaroK. Guys, if you've been following Starcraft 2 since the beginning in Korea, you know this guy. He was an original TSL Zerg, a very strong Zerg player. Has really come into his own in this tournament specifically. Hasn't been doing that well in Pro League, hasn't been doing that well in the GSL, but he's made it to top 4 in Star League. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, beating a couple of big Terrans to get here. Went through Innovation and Beyond, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
On the other side, we do have Solar, who's gone through 2 very strong Zergs right now, Sulky and Bial. So coming into this one, Solar kind of has the name behind him for Legacy of the Void. He's doing quite well. Has got a nice track record so far, and those wins only add to it. I'm definitely going to be favoring Solar here. How about you?
I have to go with Solar as well. Solar is a big fan favorite because of his performances overseas and in the online tournaments. He's really considered by many foreign fans to be like top 3 Zerg in Korea right now, and I think he's probably going to have to prove that tonight. Losing to RagnaroK here would be a big upset. I would say most people definitely favoring Solar in the ZVZ. Even though RagnaroK took out Bial, I mean, it's still not the same. It's just not quite the same level. Actually, no, it was Solar that took out Bial.
Yeah, RagnaroK took out Byun.
Yeah.
Easy mistake to make there.
1 letter difference. There you go.
But guys, let's jump into our interview videos here. We'll get those translated after.
3학년 때까지 계속 같은 반이어서 서로 얘기를 많이 해가지고 그때 친해졌어요.
신이범 선수랑 뭐 고등학교 때 계속 3년 동안 같은 반이어서 계속 얼굴 보는 사이였던 것 같아요.
민수가 확실하게 잘하는 게 없어서 민수가 공격 오는 거 다 맞고 역습으로 끝낼 것 같아요.
그냥 신이범 선수는 제 손바닥 안에 있는 것 같아요. 그냥 너무 무난해요. 뻔해요, 솔직히.
저는 민수가 동족전을 잘한다고 생각한 적이 한 번도 없어서 제가 더 잘한다고 생각했기 때문에 당연히 제가 이길 것 같아요.
동족전이라서 좀 까다롭긴 한데 신이범 선수가 아무래도 16강에서 만난 김미철 선수나 8강에서 만난 한지원 선수보다 좀 실력이 좀 부족한 것 같아서 쉽게 이길 수 있을 것 같아요.
솔직히 저는 3대 0으로 이기고 싶어요.
3대 0이나 운 없으면 3대 1?
로얄로더라는 게 한 번 올라오면 떨어지면 끝이잖아요. 이번에 꼭 우승해서 그 타이틀을 얻고 싶어요.
아무래도 이번 스타리그 또 야외 결승 한다고 하셔서 야외 결승에서 꼭 저희 부모님이랑 친구들 불러다 놓고 멋있게 우승 한번 해보고 싶어요.
민수야, 너가 돌이니까 내가 널 치워버리고 올라갈게.
희범아, 너가 그런 말을 해도 별로 신경 안 써요. 이번 승자 결승은 내가 가야겠고
패자전에서 잘했으면 좋겠다.
너는 좀 패자전 해서 힘들게 올라와라.
Well, there you have it. A lot of strong words being thrown between these two players. A couple of young guys down here, pretty feisty.
Yeah, a lot of trash talking going on, basically, and both players expecting and hoping to win this 3-0. I think Solar saying, like, something bad happens, something weird happens, he might actually, win 3-1 instead.
Yeah.
But they're both feeling very confident it's going to be one-sided.
And it's funny, RagnaroK also said, not even once did I feel like Solar was good in ZVZ, in the same race matchup. I've never felt that even once. I should be able to take this easily. I guess he's kind of ignoring the results that Solar has had. Maybe he feels something different when he plays against Solar in, just heads-up matches between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably hit each other on the ladder a lot. Maybe they played each other in practice before. But I really have to give the edge here to Solar. He's quite famous for his EVZ, oftentimes in his online tournament results, plus his results overseas. And, he was one of the players to do best early on in Legacy of the Void because there were all those online tournaments before tournaments really started up in Korea, even tournaments in the beta that he was playing in. So I got to say he's one of the favorites. A lot of people were saying he's one of the favorites to win this tournament, but I'd say when you look at his results and you compare him to RagnaroK, some of RagnaroK's results might surprise people more than Solar's results. But, Innovation wasn't necessarily as accustomed to Legacy of the Void when he lost that first match, and Byun was gone for a long time. I think beating Byul is a pretty important result. But this match could go either way. It's a ZVZ. Both players are confident, which whenever I see that in an interview, I think to myself, like, this really could go either way. I don't think they're really messing around because Koreans are usually pretty honest in these things.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, too. We were remarking, actually, before we even started the broadcast, that Solar looked kind of nervous, something we don't see all too often out of the kid. He's usually somewhat cocky or, like, very confident in a way.
Yeah.
But tonight, when he went into that room, I guess because no one was looking besides us and the makeup ladies, he was just showing his real feelings. Before the matches even started, definitely getting some nerves. I'm sure once he gets into the groove, though, Solar's one of those players that does really fantastically in a best-of series. You can see he hasn't dropped a set yet in this tournament. So, I mean, you really can't take that away from him.
Yeah. And looking at the two of them in this, shot we've got right here, it looks like Solar is much more ready to go than RagnaroK. But, I got to give the edge to Solar. I want to say he's going to take it with a 3-1 because in ZVZ, that one game, you will lose it no matter what, basically, in almost every best of 5.
Yeah, it's really volatile. It's very hard to win 3-0 in a best of series for a same race matchup. But Solar's done it twice, and we'll see how it does go down here. Let's jump into game number 1 right now on Dusk Towers. Game number 1 here on Dusk Towers between RagnaroK and Solar. Down here in the bottom left, in the red, one of the Zerg players we do have tonight, it is RagnaroK.
Reppin' CJ, an old TSL Zerg from the beginning of Starcraft 2 in Korea. His opponent in the top right in blue is Solar. I think Samsung in this tournament, having the Zerg logo actually as his pen, probably something along the lines as being one of the best all-around Zergs in multiple regions.
Maybe like the master of Zerg. He doesn't really lose to Zerg. Something like that, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see a double hatch before pool here for RagnaroK. Immense confidence going into his ZVZ to go for that greedy of a build. It is a hatch first that he's up against, so he'll probably get away with it and get ahead, especially in the early drone count. He's going to have so much extra larva.
Yeah, this is interesting. Maybe he has studied a lot of Solar's games on this match. I mean, that's something else we have to talk about. RagnaroK hasn't shown that many games of ZVZ, whereas Solar has shown, I think it's 5 games. He did win all 5, but it's a lot that he showed in terms of his play styles, his strategies on certain maps. So maybe RagnaroK took a look and he's like, this guy just never really cheeses or goes aggressive on this map or just in general. So I can get away with this. I mean, this backdoor base especially,
Yeah.
He does go for the outdoor base first, just to get that up, get it running, maybe throw down a spine if he feels some aggression is coming along, but wants to get that up and running first because that backdoor base will essentially never be attacked.
Yeah, you're right. And I just want to, again, rehash the idea of all the extra larva he's going to have here. It's going to be insane. He's also taken a very early gas. This is the greediest that you can get in ZVZ. And, you know, Solar sees the creep, and that's not even necessarily enough information to let him know it's a base at the back. He has no idea about that.
He really needs to get a good scout of the main and maybe see how many drones there are out. He definitely needs some more information, but that's the other thing about this map is that it's very hard to find out about if that base is ever taken. You'll never know the timing unless you get Lings in there. He's trying to get one in now. This is specifically to see the timing or if this base is up, and this is going to be huge scouting information for Solar. Huge.
Not only does he see the base, but he sees the Roach Warren as well. And the Roach Warren, you know, especially if Solar had not seen that, would have been the perfect way to punish, you know, probably what's about to be a 2-base Spire build coming out from Solar, because he would have so much larva, so much money, and all that extra early gas. But this scout allows Solar to set up his own defensive Roach Warren. He might even need a spine or two if RagnaroK's actually going to commit to the aggression. This still puts RagnaroK in a very comfortable position because now Solar has to be scared on a base down, which means he can just simply sit back and drone. He's got a lot of different options. All right,
we do have the Lair and a Nidus network coming in here for Solar. He's got this one Overlord very close to the main, so it looks like he's going to try to go for a main Nidus here. And that's very interesting. Looking at the drone counts, RagnaroK has committed to 7 more drones. RagnaroK does get the scout there and see, hey, you're not going for a base there. And he's actually sending in an Overlord in the back door. That's a huge scout. I wish we could get a look on that to see if he actually does see the Nidus.
Oh, if he sacks it, he should be able to see it. It's just barely going to get close enough, it looks like. Yep, he will see it. He clicks on it. We saw the red click. He's definitely seen it. Nidus is being planted in the main base here, and he should be able to burst it down right after it's finished. And RagnaroK has such a better economy. He's got so much better larva. Solar is basically screwed, man. I mean, he can't do anything.
I don't think this is going to work. All the drones are here. He's trying to focus it down. The transfuses onto that Nidus are huge, but it's not enough. And this is not enough units out here, I think, for Solar.
Well, he's got these queens to help out, but they're not going to last very long, and they don't have any way of retreating back home, so he's going to be losing injects, but these queens can't return home. And that's all of his queens here. More reinforcements and even a spine crawler coming up here. That's game over. That's GG. Quick and simple.
There you go. RagnaroK taking game number 1. I think a lot of that had to do with Solar maybe getting a little desperate, saying, hey, you went for that kind of greedy build, but I don't think the timing was fast enough for Solar. It was kind of a weird build, to be honest. I don't see that working. Maybe only if RagnaroK doesn't get the scout, he might have had a better chance once he gets all his units out there, but the way it went down, there was no way that was going to work.
Even if he doesn't kill the Nidus, I feel like if he hadn't focused on Nidus versus those transfuses, he would have wrecked that army even harder and would have had more reinforcements. Like, if he kills a Nidus right away, he wins the game, right? But because the transfuses were on point by Solar, you know, he ended up wasting a lot of fire and a lot of DPS, but he had 3 bases for so much longer. It was no longer really viable to go for fast Spire if that was his plan. If his whole strategy was to Nidus like that, it feels pretty weak because it's pretty blind, and he didn't know that it was going to be 3 bases before he even started his lair. So I feel like the build from RagnaroK was greedy, but he just won basically a build order win in that matchup.